Hello everyone, Epic Slayers here, welcome back. I think it's only right that I ride this season's 2.0 wave, but I want to discuss something a little bit different to the seasonal characters outrage, which I did cover in my video yesterday. I'd highly recommend you check that out for my take on the seasonal character debacle, but just to briefly summarise before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I am going to need to play with the seasonal character in the Division 2 before I can really give my opinion. With that said, on paper, it sounds interesting, it sounds like something that I may enjoy, because I've always loved the level 1 to 40 experience both in the Division 1 and the Division 2, and unlike the majority of players, I always prefer the journey to endgame rather than the endgame itself, and that's no different here with the Division 2. I do, however, completely understand why so many players are pushing back hard on seasonal characters. And what I will say is, if the majority of players don't like seasonal characters, and that's the feedback Massive get once this has gone live, then Massive need to reconsider the path that they've chosen here. At the end of the day, the majority need to be appeased, certainly with something like this, otherwise the game is just going to get crushed. Now, with that out of the way, for me, there is an even greater issue that came out of the Season 2.0 news, and that's the lack of news on anything else to do with seasons. And maybe I'd set my expectations too high, although I think my expectations were more than reasonable, but I was expecting a lot more than just seasonal characters and a few modifiers. So let's discuss why this is a massive issue. The news about Seasons 2.0 described a fresh, new experience with the introduction of seasonal characters, an accelerated level 1 to 40 experience with new modifiers to spice things up. Massive also revealed that Seasons 2.0 will be bringing new global events with a new reward structure. Leagues are going to be removed, and they're going to be replaced by a classified event with further details to follow, and more. Sorry, I did lie about that last sentence. Massive actually said nothing at all. Same missions, same leagues, same global events. I mean, I love the Golden Bullet global event the first time it dropped, but after the 100th time, yeah, it's kind of boring now. Plus, global events were just done way better in the Division 1, if anyone remembers. You had the solo modifiers, but you also had team modifiers as well, which I thought worked really, really well. I don't remember the last time I partook in the League event. This is easily the worst contribution to seasonal content that I've ever seen in any game that I've ever played with seasons. And that might sound ridiculous, but from what I've played, Leagues are the thing that I am least happy about in any game. And you know, some of you might like Leagues. I know some people who look forward to Leagues, and that's really great. And like, truly, I'm jealous because I wish I loved Leagues. But to me, it's just mind-numbing content with really crappy rewards. And if I had it my way, the only part of seasonal content that I'd actually keep are apparel events. However, one a season is simply just not enough, as more often than not, I usually like every other event. Let's take this season, for example, Season 1 of Year 6. Here we've got an apparel event coming called Crossroads. And from the key art provided, this will not be an event that I get out of bed for. I doubt very much I'm going to be chasing any of the pieces from this event, which means I'm going to have to wait for, more than 3 months for Season 2, and then hope the apparel event there is a good one. I'm much more into those dark kind of outfits, those military outfits, and to me this is more of like a civilian one. It's too bright for me. If you saw me in real life and what I wore, I mainly wear dark greens, blacks, greys, and I feel like my character, real life reflects our characters, and so all these bright colours and stuff, they just don't work for me. I think we should be getting 2 a season, apparel events. I think that should be a minimum. Massive have done this before in previous seasons, so I can't really see any reason why they can't seem to do this any longer. Now, I was expecting Seasons 2.0 to provide some significant changes to the seasonal content. Seasonal characters, whilst they are a major change to how the story of the seasons are told going forward, for our main characters, it appears we are getting the same seasonal content as before, reruns after reruns, essentially. Now, Massive did reveal Manhunt 2.0, but guess what? That's also tied to your seasonal character, offering weekly scouts, which allows Massive to give story updates on a weekly basis rather than monthly. As I said, Seasonal characters are going to develop the story. Our main characters, I don't really know what they have to offer for that. So again, seasonal content looks to be exactly the same as it has been, for years. Why didn't Massive focus on the seasonal content instead of introducing, the seasonal characters? I just don't know. I'm 100% sure, especially now after seeing the backlash towards Seasons 2.0, that a major update for seasonal content would have landed so much better with this community. I know that's what I really want, and I know that's what a lot of the people that I know that play this game really wanted. Now, Massive are currently planning to release further information on Seasons 2.0 shortly, as confirmed on Twitter today in response to the backlash from the community. Regardless, this will just be more of a detailed explanation of how seasonal characters are going to work, and I'm confident there are no further changes coming to the seasonal content for your main characters. So they're probably just going to talk about what the modifiers are, how fast each character is likely to progress through the season, that sort of stuff, but no seasonal content. It won't be until the Brooklyn DLC comes out in early 2025 where we see some new story missions, something this game has needed for many years, and I have it all crossed on all of me for some new seasonal content as well. However, I think I just need to learn to temper my expectations, because I always expect more from these developers, and I always expect more from The Division 2. And unfortunately, I'm constantly disappointed. And I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that I play Destiny 2 a lot, and that game, certainly at the moment, seems to be hitting all the high notes, and this game just does not. Now, I want you to head to the comments, and I want you to write the words rogue if you'd prefer a major overhaul to the seasonal content instead of the seasonal characters that we are getting in Season 2. Now, with all of that said, I haven't really got a lot more that I can say. I do hope I'm wrong, and Massive just haven't revealed the major update coming to seasonal content, but there's just no way they would have missed that off from the Ubi Forward event. There's just no way they would have done that, because if they had released that, even alongside seasonal characters, might I add, then backlash might not have been as bad, or certainly if they had given us the option, this is what I said in my video yesterday, if they'd given people the option with seasonal characters to either use a seasonal character for the story or use your own characters, that would have landed better. But I think just the fact that if they'd have come out and said, look, we are having seasonal characters, this is going to happen. However, for your main characters, we are making some major updates to the seasonal content. I think that overall people might have been a little happier. I know I would have been way happier with that news than anything else. So, yeah, like I said, I'm not going to temper my expectations for any more news about seasonal content for Seasons 2.0 or for the DLC coming in 2025. If there are going to be any seasonal content changes, I think it's probably not going to be till Year 7, and even then, I'm not so sure it's going to happen, guys, if I'm being honest with you. I really think that with the Division 3 already planned and going into to development essentially soon, that we should probably expect to wait for that game before we have anything new, essentially. I do appreciate you sticking with me to the end here, and of course, until the next one, epic out.